Hello and welcome to my Ever Messy Art Studio. My name is Keeks, and today my mantra is, if at first you don't succeed, try again. So basically what happened is for 2 hours I actually filmed myself trying to do this beautiful mushroom right here in this book, and this book is actually called The Little Book of Mushrooms. It's an illustrated guide to extraordinary power of mushrooms by Alex Dorr with 2 R's and illustrated by Sarah Richard. And I got this book today, loved this image, and wanted to try to paint it. And so I went to make that the background in a picture I was doing, and nothing went right. Overworked the crap out of it. Nothing looked good in this to me anyway. So I also had found some real butterfly wings outside and tried to decoupage it in there. It didn't go right. It didn't dry clear like I thought it was going to. And I've never seen matte medium do that before. So I'm thinking it has something to do with the oils and the butterfly wings. So I have decided that I'm gonna try again. And I'm gonna do it differently this time. Because I tried to do it with Neocolor 2s, and I think that's where my overworking problem began. So instead, I am going to use my Teo Tree watercolors, and I have a big set of like 136 colors or something like that. It's this big right here. And I am going to use that instead and try again. And I'm going to film that process, and that's going to be what I release instead of what I had filmed earlier. What is that? There's like a piece of dirt there. Get out of here. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. So give me a second just to get everything zoomed in properly here. And I thought I would bring you guys along for the journey. Because I was a little heartbroken that my fairy didn't turn out, especially with those beautiful butterfly wings. I think that's the part that hurt my feelings the most about it. But you know, that happens with art. Sometimes you're just not going to be perfect, and you want to be, and the world says no. So I just wanted to take you along with the journey with me, and thought that I would just try again and see how it goes. So without further ado, I'm probably going to speed up this process, and I'm going to try again, darn it. And I'm going to try my little hardest. So please hang out with me, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks. So for the first step, I just decided to use a really light colored pencil and try to draw in the basic shape of the mushroom that I saw, because this mushroom had a really crazy like tree shape, and it just had like this really exotic look to it. And then I just drew a couple of little mushrooms around it, because I think the idea is we're seeing the bottom of this mushroom and then the top. I've been experimenting a lot with what's called the underpainting lately, which is where you paint colors underneath the image. And so I started out with like a light lavender, because I felt like this painting probably did have an underpainting to it, because if you actually look at the yellows have a weird purple tone to them in the picture. So I wanted to try to capture that. At first I started a little bit too light, so then I chose a darker purple in the Teo trees, because sometimes they're a little hard to tell which ones you're going to go into. And then I just started painting in the negative space that was all around my different mushrooms and painted those a dark purple. And then later on I actually even went over the background again, except with kind of a blue, because if you look really closely at the image to the left, where the grasses are, that's not actually purple. It's actually like kind of like a navy-ish color. So I had to try to figure out how I was going to get that kind of navy color to go in there, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get this image exact, but I wanted to at least catch the essence of it, you know what I mean? So what I did is I painted the blue in there, and then by the time I got up to where I wanted the sky to start, I noticed that it wasn't quite blending in properly because that purple wasn't wet anymore. So I just took purple and bled it into the blue, and then repainted the purple at the top. And that helped it be a little bit darker, because I think the idea is the grasses are the blue and then the purple is the sky. And because that background is the way that it is, like the idea was for the ground to fade into the sky. I would try something a little bit different here. So I tried painting with some of the kind of shiny pearlescent colors first. So I tried like a pearlescent like white gold and a pearlescent regular gold just to see if I could pop some magic into there, but it wasn't really showing. It just kind of made everything shiny. I think next time I go to try to do that, I'll paint like an actual color over it first and then go with that. I ended up watercoloring over it, and you ended up not really being able to see the shiny bits anymore, which was kind of a shame, but hey, it's fine. The original image isn't shiny, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And then I went ahead and just added a darker yellow on what would be the tops of the mushrooms. And then I just went ahead and dried it. And then I went ahead and added purple back into it because there are a lot of purple shadowy bits in there. And I wanted to try and do something kind of similar to that, though in my baby painter style, since I am still very much a learner and not a professional whatsoever. So I just tried to add a little bit of that purple back in there, and then afterwards I wanted to go ahead and concentrate on the grass, and I decided to be brave and go ahead and paint over my mushrooms because that's how they are in the picture, where the grass kind of goes over it. And I think it did kind of give it a 3D effect. And then I added a bit of highlights with some Neocolor 2s and decided not to add water to them because I didn't want to overwork it. And then afterwards I added some black Tombows, and then I gave it some stars with some Posca pens, and really that was about it. So I tried to keep it as simple as possible while still making a lovely image. So I definitely think the second shot came out a lot better than the first one. And I'm really, really pleased and happy that I decided to try again, because I will not lie, I was very angry after that last one. Not really angry, but maybe upset with myself. I think as artists, we really put ourselves in this weird like patch where everything has to be perfect, and when something doesn't turn out perfect, it really makes you feel a little sore and it hurts your feelings a bit. So I'm really happy that I tried again. And yeah, and I would encourage you, if you don't succeed the first time, try again. Just try it a couple of different methods. Maybe you'll end up with something really pretty like this. I just wanted to make something that was similar to the image, and I feel like I did a lot better this time. I didn't add a fairy or anything weird to it this time. Instead, I just tried to go with what my gut said to do, and that was just stick to the mushroom. So I did that. Oops. I just heard my dog. She got up and did her little flippy thing. But yeah, so I would definitely encourage you, if you are someone who is like me and you struggle and like sometimes you feel like you're in that art mode and then other times you feel like you're not, just remember to give yourself some grace. You know, that I learned a lot from the one that I messed up on, and that helped me channel my energy into this one instead. And I'm a lot happier with how this one turned out than I am with the other one. So, you know, just keep trying, and if at first you don't succeed, try again, yo. And, you know, hopefully this helped you and helped encourage you to keep trying and to keep practicing. And hopefully you had fun watching this. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and go. But if you made it with me this long, thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.